Hi ARK fans, welcome to ARK Invest Daily, your daily dose of ARK information. Today we are featuring month that was. In this series, we'll be summarizing the entire month of April, look at the trends there, see what companies were added or removed. So 10 new companies were added and exactly 10 were removed too. So stay with me to find out which one those were. And also we'll look at the biggest moves of April. And in terms of both, in terms of shares count and in terms of market value, what were the biggest moves. So stay with me to find out more about it. I'll see you on the other side. Thank you. Hi guys, welcome back. In ARK summary section, as you know, we keep an eye on two high level numbers. One is market value and the second one is total number of companies that they are invested in. In market value, we have selected the whole date range because we are focusing on month of April. It started with 47.7 billion, ending in 49.1 billion. So overall, it's still an up, but we have had few days where it had gone down significantly. The highest point was 52 billion, almost 51.9, but it went up back again actually, but again towards the end of the month it's down to 49.1 billion. So overall an upward trend, but with lots of ups and downs in there. We can quickly take a look at all major ETFs and see their trends if they were also up month beginning and towards the end. So let's take a look at ARK. So only ARK selected right now. They started with 22.8 billion and ended in 23.5 billion. So that is good. It is similar to what overall fund combined look like, because this is 50% of overall fund. So its trend is similar to overall fund as well. So trending upwards with lots of hiccups in between. Let's go to the next biggest one, which is ARKG. In ARKG also you'll see that overall trend is upwards, but there are big peaks and valleys throughout the month. The lowest point being 9.3 billion, which is less than where they started the month with. So, but overall came out good, 0.3 billion addition or on the plus side for this guy. Next biggest is ARKW. So ARKW is the one third biggest ETF, and it is lower compared to where it started. So it started with 6.9 billion, ending in 6.7 billion. Then the next biggest is ARKF. Let's take a look at that. That's a good news there as well. Started with 4 billion, ending in 4.3. So upward trend there for this month. And the next biggest is ARK Robotics and Autonomous, ARKQ. That is kind of same. Started with 3.3 billion, ending in 3.3 billion. Even though if you look at these 2 points, this point seems a little bit higher because these are rounded off values. So it is down just a little bit, but not enough to be captured in one decimal place. So that's the summary of market value. In terms of total number of companies, as you can see, it started the month with 273 companies that they have put money in, went down, and then they added some companies as well. In fact, they removed 10 companies in April and added 10 companies, and we'll cover that in just a bit. So ending the month in 271 companies there. Let's go to the biggest moves quickly without wasting much time. The threshold that we have today is 40% because this is entire month data. So the threshold is very high. Any companies that moved shares more than 40% plus or on the minus side or removed shares will get captured here. So these are all the companies that follow that criteria within the threshold. And then these are the rankings of those companies in 271 companies that they are invested in. For example, DraftKings is 37 rank. And these are the number of shares that they added. Look at this one. They tripled the shares. In this case, Reinvent Technologies. In this case, also Jaws, Spitfire, they tripled it. And as I'm hovering over these bar charts, you will see more information about the trending of their shares position this month, and the stock price and market value, and which all ETFs this company is present in also. So I'll hover over all these. You can take a look at that. And here, this chart tells you, even though these many shares were added, 883,000 shares were added, but how much does it mean in terms of market value? Just 8.7 million. So not much. So take that with a grain of salt that, oh, okay, they added so many shares, but the stock price was not very high, and hence they invested only 8.7 million. It may look big move by shares, but not such a big move by market value. So Jaws, Spitfire, again, this has been popping up in many episodes on many days. But overall, if you see, just 26 million. Skills, they doubled their position, and it is pretty big move, $100 million there. So let me hover over others also quickly. 3D System is a 3D printing company, DDD, ticker symbol. Honeywell International, Boeing, almost doubled. So look at that. They almost doubled a lot of companies, doubled the shares of a lot of companies. Boeing, Spirit, L3 Harris, 3D printing ETF, their own ETF. They're investing in that because it's part of ARK X. That's why it's showing up here. Heiko Corp, Komatsu, Thales, Airbus. So you see Airbus and Boeing both because they probably are expecting the travel industry to bounce back after COVID. NanoX Imaging that received a clearance from FDA, so they also added a lot of shares there. But then again, a lot of shares, but it translates to just $1.8 million. So that's why it's important to keep that context that its ranking is 239, and doubling the share doesn't mean they added a lot of market value there. Garmin added a lot of shares there. Pinduoduo, Trimble, DraftKings, 54% extra. The biggest move here is 164.4 million, which is Trimble Inc. So that's the biggest move. But nevertheless, DraftKings is pretty big too, 117 million worth of shares. And it's also a function of stock price also, guys. So this is not exactly how much they paid for it, but the stock price also changed. So it could be a mix of those two things. Netflix, they added. Ceragon, Roblox, which IPO'd. And I'm surprised that Coinbase is not showing up here. But that's probably because it was not in this criteria. So we'll take a look at that quickly. Then you have Netflix, Ceragon, Roblox, Faurecia, Pekar. Nvidia is on the negative side because they probably had a big run already and they're taking the profits there, investing in growth companies. Intercure is the next one too. So the biggest one is Pekar actually. Coinbase, here it shows finally. So that's the number one company when we look at the biggest moves by market value. So that's that company also IPO'd in month of April, and Roblox as well, those two. So if I hover over these, you will see more information about it. A lot of shares added there for Coinbase, present in 3 ETFs. KE Holdings, that's a little bit of surprising part. KE Holdings, they completely removed that company, look here, and then they added as well. But this one is KE Holdings ADR, and this one is regular KE Holdings, so something going on there. Uipath is another one which was very surprising because it's present in 6 different ETFs. I've never seen them add a company to 6 ETFs. So that's Uipath. It's a robotics automation platform company. Shopify, a lot of shares added there, and market the stock price also going up for April. Too Simple. So I'll just hover over these so you can take a look. You can pause the video and take a look. Some of these already popped up in above chart. Exact Science, Tevilio, Pinduoduo. So let's start here. KE Holdings because they removed it and added it. Square, Tesla, Car, Intercontinental, Nvidia, Silvergate. Synopsys is another one which has had a good run in past year and they're probably taking profits. Invitae, Pure Storage. So that's the biggest move by market value. This is how the overall fund looks. Actually, let's change this to difference from. Why did it go so far ahead? You're just looking at April. So this is how it looks if we do a diff from current situation, current market value to beginning of the month. So a mixed bag, it might look like more red than green, but actually it is more green than red because the overall fund is slightly up compared to where the month started. So that's biggest moves for you guys. Let's quickly go over to new and removed companies. In new companies, these are the 10 new companies that were added. Zimmergen, Uipath, Too Simple, Trimble, Skills, Recursion, Okta, Nano Dimension, KE Holding, Jaws, Spitfire, Galileo, and Coinbase. But not all of them are completely new. For example, Nano Dimension, they have been invested in this since last year. But this, in April, they added it to Print ETF. So it's new to this ETF. Now, this was very surprising move to me that it was never added to Print in before because it's a 3D printing company and it was not part of Print ETF. That is very strange to me. KE Holdings, again, another surprising move because they removed the company and then they added the company. So not a net new. Nano Dimension also not a net new. Okta Recursion Skills also not a net new. It was present in other ETFs, but they added it to ARK. Some of these companies are not net new, but some of them are. So that's that, guys. Let's take a look at removed companies also quickly. So look at that, KE Holdings showing up here as well. Removed and then added. Other companies that are removed: Taiwan, Hamlet, Adobe, Lightspeed, Verisk Analytics, Splunk, Atlassian, BioIndex, and Xilinx. Those are the 10 companies removed, and these are the 10 companies added to these funds. Some of those are not new. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. This was your daily dose, the entire month summary. So hence it's a little bit bigger video. Hope you like and subscribe.